celebrating 17 years of Young Turks.
Hello and welcome to Young Turks, India's longest running show on startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Shireen Bhan. Today we put the spotlight on the real estate sector. So on this special, catch 4 businesses that are providing new age concepts in the realty market. First up, go on a luxurious escape with Isprava's Vacation Homes. Next, save 30% in operating costs with Facilio, a facility management tech company. Take a look at how Nestaway is creating a marketplace for home rentals, and find out how University Living is solving the campus accommodation crisis. A few years ago, luxury living on the top of the hills or at a beach house was a dream for many, but not anymore. Mumbai-based Nibran Shah tapped into an opportunity in India's real estate market and started Isprava Homes in 2013. Currently offering vacation homes in Goa, Alibag and the Nilgiris, this 5-year-old venture has already grossed revenues of over 250 crores. This at a time when real estate in India is facing its worst slowdown. They claim they've got unsold inventory at just 5%. From icons in business to the world of sport, Isprava has the who's who on its client list. Here's more on its story.
It all started in 2010 when Nibran Shah decided to escape from his hectic life as an investment banker in London and moved to India. He soon set up his first venture, Themis, an accounting, taxation and HR management firm. But a quick getaway to Goa led this finance graduate to shift gears and bet big on the realty market. Fascinated with Goa's charm, Nibran spotted an opportunity to build a home away from home. Merging Indian tradition with European subtlety, Nibran decided to redefine luxury with Isprava. Founded in 2013, Isprava specializes in design and construction of luxury holiday homes in Goa, Alibag and the Nilgiris. A typical Isprava home is designed by international designers, comes fully furnished with antique furniture and is maintained by a property management team on the owner's behalf. Isprava homes are essentially of 3 types: estate, villas and vardos. The estates are large and palatial, which are valued over 10 crore rupees. The villas range from 600 to 1500 square meters and are priced between 6 to 10 crore rupees, while vardos and hamlets is Isprava's take on gated communities. 300 to 600 square meters, these homes are priced between 4 to 6 crore rupees. Disrupting the real estate business, Nibran tells us that there are 2 main parts to the business. First is the design and construction of exquisite homes, while the second is the rental and hospitality part.
If you actually look at the holiday home market, it's a very, very fragmented market. You have very large builders doing projects that are very FSI focused and therefore they aren't luxury. They focus on the lower ticket sizes. Or you have your mom and pop architects or interior designers doing 1 or 2 projects a year. We are the only pan-India holiday home builder who focuses on luxury. We do it differently. For us, it's not only about development, it's about how we take the relationship with a homeowner beyond just handing them a house. So we manage their house for them, we fully furnish their house for them, we rent their house from them. So a homeowner gets everything from their bills paid to yoga teachers to chefs to masseuses all in their house. And I think that is what luxury is, right? It's the entire experience as opposed to just owning a piece of property.
Over 5 years, 110 homes and 9,000 rental guests later, Isprava boasts of a clientele that include the founders, promoters of Infosys and SpiceJet, celebrities like Varun Dhawan, Shahid Kapoor and many sports icons and businessmen. Nibran claims that from world-class aesthetics to before-time delivery, extending property management services and handling rental potential of the homes, Isprava is truly disrupting the Indian real estate sector. Despite the realty market witnessing turbulence through the past 3 years, Isprava has been an outlier, having already grossed revenues of over 250 crore rupees.
When we sell a home, it's a lump sum cost like buying any home anywhere. And here our prices range from 2.5 crores going to 50 crores. We then have post-sales, we give any service that we give for the first year for free. And after that, we have a maintenance cost. There's a menu card. We have homeowners who are, want a light touch service, and that could be, 15 or 20,000 rupees a month. We have homeowners who want a very heavy touch service. They want butlers and they want French chefs and sushi makers and etc., which we're willing to give you, and that costs a lot more. On the hospitality piece, here we do 2 types of agreements with any homeowner. We either do a revenue share agreement, whereby we list on our isprava.com platform, rent out the homes for short stays. Any revenue that comes in, we split with the homeowner, or we do a fixed lease agreement where we lease out at a fixed rate, and anything over and above comes to us.
The company has also lured Indian HNIs and UHNIs in the real estate market to raise funds. Having raised over 150 crore rupees through 3 rounds of funding, Isprava's investors include the Godrej family, Anand Piramal and the Taparia family office, to name a few. Nibrant also has plans to demerge the hospitality and the development business in the near future.
So we're doing 2 or 3 very, very exciting things. I think number one, the first thing we're doing is we're looking at entering Sri Lanka. For us, that's a fantastic luxury market. We've just started Alibag. We're already in Goa and Coonoor. And on the development piece, besides that, we're looking at scaling up into our safari range in various areas of India, because we believe that there's a sustainability angle to it, and we believe that's the future, right? On the hospitality piece, it's very exciting. Our tech's being built out, and I think we're going to have some of the most amazing tech out there. We believe that this play is an international play, so not only will we be in India, we're going to be around the world ultimately, and we believe this then becomes $1 billion play.
And not just Sri Lanka, Isprava has plans to reach 200 homes in Southeast Asia with its offerings. In the domestic market, Isprava also has plans to build holiday homes in Pondicherry, Lonavala, Dehradun and Nandi Hills, to name a few.
Nibrant, here's wishing you all the very best with your expansion plans. Now, when you think buildings, I'm sure you're thinking brick and mortar. But the next startup we feature wants you to think brick, mortar and IoT. Chennai-based Facilio is a facility management tech company that was set up in 2017. Its software offers real-time updates to commercial real estate owners, helping clients save nearly 30% in operating expenses. Here's a look at the Facilio story.
Much like the PayPal mafia in the US, the Zoho mafia is growing in India but going global. Some of the companies that sprung out of this stable include Freshworks and GoFrugal. Making a strong debut from this mafia is Facilio, a Chennai-based startup that is transforming the way buildings are managed. The minds behind this idea are Prabhu Ramachandran, Rajaval Subramaniam, Yogendra Babu and Krishnamurthy Rangaswamy, who decided to combine their expertise in tech innovation, IoT and marketing.
I was part of the Zoho's original product line, where we sell software to large telcos across the world. Later, from 2011, I started the IoT product line in Zoho. So that got me excited and passionate about how tech like IoT, machine learning and AI can come and create value in B2B space. And that was the inspiration to start Facilio.
So what does Facilio do? Well, the company's integrated software helps real estate players maintain the buildings while maximizing operational efficiency, sustainability and overall tenant experience. Now, it's no breaking news that commercial real estate is a high-maintenance segment. In fact, almost 80% of any building's life cycle cost is spent on operations, repair, and recapitalization. Facilio is bridging this gap by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things.
So we are talking about 2 trillion spend, where there is a lot of inefficiencies in the way energy is used in buildings, in the way how people go and do services and facilities management. So it is, if you apply technology and bring in efficiency, you are looking at easily 15 to 20% of efficiency on a $2 trillion spend. So that is a huge potential.
Backing this vision are Axel Partner and Tiger Global, who have pumped in $7.6 million into the venture so far since 2017. As of now, Facilio has operations in India, Middle East, Brazil and US, where they are catering to clients like Emirates HQ and Mazaya Business Park in Dubai, City of Duluth in the US, and back home players like RMZ Infotech and co-working player IndieCube, to name a few. Since the solutions are SaaS-based, Facilio has opted for a subscription-based revenue model. But why did large corporates bet their money on a startup and trust them with their tech? Here's Facilio's pitch.
So what we did is 2 things. We have a software which is IoT driven, that we put a software in each of these buildings, and it has capability to integrate with any of the existing automation system. It can pick live feed of data from all the automation systems, right from your elevators, cameras, backup power systems, air conditioning systems. So now we get a live feed of data about when are these systems running, what are the current problems. So we leverage what is already existing in these buildings, and from there, because it's a platform model, we start enabling different use cases for customers. So they can start with simple digitization of all their properties. So put a mobile app for all their own employees, their contractors, start looking at how they can increase productivity of these people. Next one is they can look at what is their energy consumption across all their properties, which properties are performing better, which is performing poor, what can they do to go and improve that. And then they can look at how their assets are performing and which vendor assets are performing better. So all of these can be enabled over a period of time.
And that is Facilio's biggest differentiator. It's not just a data entry software. The platform gives clients actionable insights. Eventually, Facilio's big target is to do away with the operational silos that building owners and operators are used to and provide a single, easily navigable interface. Going forward, the team wants to take this tech platform to Europe and APAC markets and plans to touch the $5 million mark in revenues in the next 12 to 18 months.
In Budget 2019, the government announced that it proposes to come up with a model tenancy law to give a fillip to rental housing. Now, this definitely will impact our next two startups. First up, Nestaway, an online marketplace for home rentals that turns unfurnished homes into fully furnished and managed apartments and rents them to pre-verified tenants with 60,000 tenants across 16 cities. Nestaway has clocked a turnover of $2 million every month. Mugdha Warrior brings you more.
In India's burgeoning cities, finding the right home is a difficult proposition, whether you're a family, a couple, or a single person. And it's an equally difficult task putting your house on rent as a homeowner. Often, the relationship turns adversarial when it needn't be so. The market is flooded with solutions like classifieds, both online and print, matchmaking portals of all sorts, some where brokers who tend to be viewed as the villains in the piece are banished, but the asymmetry persists.
We came to Bangalore in 2004, right after our engineering, and we thought we had the best job in town. But when it comes to going and finding homes, there are owners who asked more deposit than they would ask a family, which was hard for us because it was the first job. And serendipitously at the same time, one of my friend was traveling to the US. He had a house in Bangalore, so he drops up, he shows at my house, throws the keys on me and say, "Tu kuch kar le iska." And I was like, dude, I think on one hand side, there are tenants who are not finding homes, and there are owners who finds it extremely hard, especially when they're remote. There are owners who live in different city and have a home in the city where they used to work before, where the parents are. It has become extremely hard to manage a home.
And that's how Nestaway Technologies was born in January 2015. Nestaway offers a solution that combines technology and people to take the stress out of renting a home for tenants and acts like a professional property manager for house owners. On one hand, Nestaway offers home management services, tenant verification, and even rental default guarantees to owners, while on the other side, it offers tenants houses on zero brokerage, low security deposits, and other home-related assistance. We caught up with CEO Amrendra Sahu on Nestaway's journey to create a trust factor between house owners and tenants, and I began by asking Amrendra what he sees as the biggest gaps in the market.
Broking in India is not regulated. So if I am remote, it's pretty much trusting another unknown guy. I would rather trust a tenant. So I guess because there is no infrastructure in the market, people resort to whatever is available, and whatever is available is broken. Now that's sufficient. But that is the only thing that is there. So that's why people are not still okay in taking away those proxies of judgment.
There are also brokers and agents that homeowners have traditionally partnered with. What are the gaps that you found there?
House finding fee is becoming trickier, and there are charges associated to it. But I guess the charges don't feel justified in absence of infrastructure. My rights as a tenant and owners don't get established when the market is fragmented, unregulated, and there is no rule of law. So essentially, I don't think the market is averse to paying brokerage as such. It's just that they don't get value for that.
So when you started out, there were already several platforms that were listing properties and people were even finding homes on Facebook. What was it that you decided to do differently?
The market wanted a trust provider. So our hypothesis was that you are going to tell the tenant that, hey, you know what, the deposit is going to be low because the owner, it's not coming out of mistrust. You know, it's coming out of some amount of risk management. And we went and told the owner that, hey, you know what, even if the tenant does not pay in time, we are going to pay you on time, because that's what the market needs. And even if the tenant damages the house, which the small deposit that you hold isn't good enough in curing it, we will ensure that our insurance cures it out.
One very interesting part about your business is that you embrace the intermediaries rather than doing away with them. This includes brokers and service providers. So what really was the thought
The
here?
house living and house finding problem needs people to give people an experience. And historically there has been people doing this, attempting to solve this problem on their own. We have just turbocharged them with our technologies and solutions and our comfort of owner and tenant, so that the brokers, the service providers in this market actually get to do operations. They don't do sales. Sales is Nestaway's job, and because of that they give you a very predictable experience. And when they don't have to sell, they do a brilliant job because there is food on table for them in a predictable way. And this has been one of our core insights, that the mainstream India's problem is food on table. So if you could embrace brokers and service providers by helping them make a better living, they are going to cooperate and actually building a larger business. So we are not telling that we are an internet and a business where we is here to disintermediate and take all the fruits of the effort. We are trying to distribute it wide and large and wide. We are not of the type who are trying to force fit technology and make people redundant.
Nestaway has scaled from 4 homes and 5 employees in 2015 to over 60,000 tenants across 30,000 homes in 13 cities. Amrendra says the challenge has been to build the infrastructure in this fragmented industry, because Nestaway is not just a matchmaker but a home management company too, providing assisted move-ins and move-outs and even services like cleaning, plumbing and electricals. Having raised $94 million in 6 rounds of funding from Goldman Sachs, Chirate, Tiger Global and Yuri Miller, the aim is now to scale up at a much quicker pace.
There are a lot of players out there who are raising some really significant capital, and you have some well-funded players getting into the space. You know, you have Oyo coming in with Oyo Living, you have No Broker raising a big round again. Really, how are you looking at it? I mean, I know you all operate in different spaces, but how are you looking at this competition, the growing competition? Is it good for the industry?
While all of the competition, so-called competition, is focused on providing co-living as a solution, wherein, you know, there is a fixed building and they renovate it and they get people into it. We are actually behind individual owners. So if you look at it, co-living as a segment caters to students and early jobbers. Our main focus is actually on after that. So we cater to people like us who want a long-term living in a residential society, and today our largest base is families.
Okay.
And our largest owner base is actually owners with 1 or 2, 3 houses. So we don't compete either on the supply side or on the demand side. I think we are behind building a large marketplace of distributed individual owners.
So your main revenue model has been taking about 15 to 20% from what the owner gets, right? That has been your main revenue model. But how is it how do you meet it with the costs involved in actually managing that house and managing the customer? How do you put the balance there?
So I guess the math works out well when you have scale. Because I think real estate is a function of density. All our servicing cost, all of our showing cost comes down when you grow to a certain density in a particular area. Like there are 3 zones in Bangalore where we are profitable. So I think when we go to 3 times the current scale of our base, the puzzle solves itself.
You wouldn't want to also diversify to other segments like co-living or student living, hostels or something? Is that something that you want to do?
This is something that we are thinking through now.
Okay.
But our existing problems remains interesting enough. In addition to that, we will offer facilitation services around move-in, around move-out, and I think we are toying with the ideas of launching insurance products for renters and for owners, because I think having the lead in this industry, we would really want to try out if an insurance product, it's quite big in the US. We are also trying to figure out how could we improve our services so that the security deposit can be further pushed down.
The focus for Nestaway going forward will be a living as a service rather than housing as a service, by offering a host of services by subscription like furniture, office transportation and insurance of belongings. Nestaway also plans to launch in 10 new cities including Kota and Mysore.
Nestaway keep helping tenants and homeowners find the right fit. Now, the global student accommodation sector is a $200 billion industry with an acute deficit in the availability of campus accommodation. Only 1 out of 6 students are placed on campus, creating an urgent and global demand for private accommodation with campus-like facilities. Catering to this need is University Living, founded by Saurabh Arora and Mayank Maheshwari in 2015. This Noida-based startup today offers 1 million beds across 12,000 properties in UK, Australia, Europe and Singapore. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Divansh. I'm here for my MBA from Cardiff School.
Hi friends, my name is Apurva Jain. I'm studying in Nottingham Trent University. My course is BA Undergraduate of Interior Architecture.
Well, these are just a few of the lakhs of students traveling overseas for higher education every year. And believe it or not, these numbers increase annually. But what is the foremost requirement for any student traveling overseas? A place to call home. So with an eye on easing the pain pangs of finding suitable student accommodation abroad, Saurabh Arora and Mayank Maheshwari founded University Living in January 2015.
I used to be a banker, right? I worked in banking for 4 years, and that is where I realized that what not to do in life. So from banking to get into student housing industry, it's been 8 years now. I got in industry around 2011, 2012, and University Living came into existence in 2015 January. And from 11 till 15, we were testing it out. We were serving, traveling, did lots of students, accommodation of family, friends. So from banking to student housing to a global marketplace, which University Living is, wherein we are helping students all across the globe, including Indian students with their accommodation, wherein we are a global housing platform where students come, they look out an option, we shortlist, then we have a good support team which work 24/7, and we handhold their accommodation search right from shortlisting to documentation to booking to even after moving in. So it's end-to-end, solution. We are not a listing website, right? There are lots of listing website on board, but we are not a listing website. Each and every accommodation or platform is curated. They are cherry-picked, and all the due diligence has been done, right? So that's the biggest advantage we bring on table.
Having started with 5 cities in 2015, this Noida-based startup today offers 1 million beds in 12,000 properties across 180 cities in UK, Australia and New Zealand, Europe, Dubai, Singapore and South Korea. Having an early mover advantage, the startup has its strongest base in the UK and Australia, which are also the top destinations for Indian students. From doing 30 bookings a year to 50 bookings in a day, University Living has surpassed 60% of the total business done in a year in the last 2 months itself.
There are different models that we have come up with so far in the past 4 to 5 years. So one is that we get paid through our accommodation partners on every successful bookings. There have been few arrangements that we get the marketing budgets and to promote their brand and where we get the revenue out of it. And with few now, we get our rates as well as different rates. So where there's a scope of if we want to mark up any cost, then we can do that. But it's more of the main model is that we get paid from our accommodation partners. For students, it's absolutely free service. We don't charge any service fee from the student.
But this startup's services go beyond just living and now includes a local guarantor, concierge and housekeeping services, and even tie-ups to provide forex and education loans. The startup has raised an undisclosed pre-Series A round in 2018 led by Indian Angel Network and Let's Venture and plans to use these funds to invest in its technology platform.
Right now, the first and primemost thing that we are coming up with is a payment gateway. So till now, we don't take payments on our website. But within this month, we would be coming up with the payment gateway where the transaction is actually happening on our website, just like an e-commerce platform. Simultaneously, yes, the mobile application is also under the roadmap, and with coming up with that, there are a lot of integration and value-added services that we will be coming up with. So we have plans to come up with a meet and greet service.
With large student housing platforms like IQ, Student Roost and Unite Student on board, the duo is now working towards becoming a managed marketplace for smaller boutique property providers as well. With satellite offices in London and Melbourne, the team is looking to double down on its US market this year and also access opportunity in India, where housing providers like Oxford Cabs and Stanza Living have already made significant inroads.
Well, here's wishing the team the very best and welcome to the Young Turks community. With that, it is time for us to wrap up our Realty Special. You can catch these stories and more on CNBCTV18.com. Ping us on Facebook and Twitter. You'll find us at CNBC Young Turks. For now, from all of us here on the team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.
Celebrating 17 years of Young Turks.